Hi, thanks for watching. I wanted to do a review on my Wootten handmade boots. These are the Jack Gusset boot. These are part of the original collection. They've got 3 collections in the range, which I'll explain a little bit about in a minute. I just wanted to do a very quick review. Look, my plan is for this that I'll show you now what they kind of look like after a week or two. I've had these for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. I've worn them every day, and I'll sort of probably show you after how they look after about a month or so, and see how they go on the journey with me. So look, typically I try to do things that I've lived in for a bit longer, but I was really impressed with these boots, really impressed with the service, and just wanted to do a review in case someone was perhaps looking at getting a Chelsea boot. These boots are obviously very reminiscent of the R.M. Williams style boot. These are handmade in Australia, or handmade in Melbourne, to be exact. They're actually made in Ballarat, which is a small regional town outside of Melbourne. This colour that these boots are in are a teak colour, and they've also got some burnishing around the side and around the back of the boot as well. I didn't clean them up. I kind of just left them exactly as they are. I gave them a little bit of a brush to get some of the dirt and debris off the boot. They're very, very well made. The attention to detail on all of their stitching is incredible, to be honest. I was very, very impressed from the moment that I went into the store and had a look at how they were actually constructed. Very, very impressed. Very, very impressed. They're very, very comfortable from the get-go. You can tell the quality straight away. So I've been following these guys for a little while, Jess and Chris, and I've been following this story. And I was lucky enough on the day that I did go in to be there a little bit earlier. I had made an appointment with Chris and happened to get there a little bit earlier, and the door was open, so I walked in and Jess was making. I think he was finishing the lasting process on a few pairs of boots as I was in. So he spent about half an hour just talking to me while he was doing that, and told me a little bit about his story and kind of why he does the things that he does. And I guess they're an old school philosophy and an old school way of making boots. Everything is completely made by hand, and their philosophy is I guess around sustainability and trying to keep local supply chains thriving, which I tend to agree with. The art of making boots is a bit of a dying art, particularly in the way that these are constructed. A lot of boots and a lot of things these days are mass produced, and there's not really a lot of companies in Australia that are making a product to this level of detail and this care in terms of quality. These boots, as I mentioned before, are part of their original range, which means that they've basically decided that they were going to make a couple of pairs, a couple of styles in the Jack Gusset boot. So there's this one in the teak, and there's also a saddle tan. I decided to go for the teak because they're probably just, a little bit more versatile, or kind of the color that I was looking for. I did happen to acquire 2 pairs. I'm not really an unboxing person, but I am going to do an unboxing of the other pair in a video to come shortly, so you can actually have a look at the quality of the other boot that I got. They do a couple in their original range. So their original range is basically off the shelf. They'll do a run of, I'm not too sure how many, but they'll do a run of them. And then you can basically purchase them off the shelf. Most of what they do are around kind of custom made boots. So if you have a look here, sorry, I'm just doing this with one hand, but if you have a look here, you've got the original, you've got the classic, and you've got the heritage. Look, from what I understand, the classic offers you a level of customization, and then the heritage offers you a little bit more in terms of the customization. The thing that I really liked about these guys is that they, for the boots that I was after, they operate in an E width, which is great. Typically speaking, I go to a D, but that's only because of the accessibility in most boots that I get off the shelf, but these guys are an E, which is perfect for me. One thing that I will mention is that in terms of the sizing, I happen to be a 10.5 in the jacks, which Chris helped me with. In RM Williams, I'm a size 10G, or a snug 10G. I could probably go up to a 10.5, but look, the 10.5 in these fit me perfectly. My Red Wings are a 10D, and I've got some whites and some Nick's boots, and they're usually around about a 10 or a 10E kind of thing. So with this particular style of boot, the Jack, I ended up going only half a size down from my Brannock size, which is an 11D. So half a size down from my Brannock was suitable for this, and I'd say that that would probably be the case for most people. So yeah, half a size down from your Brannock would be suitable in this boot. On the inside of the sole, it's actually a leather sole, which is again kind of suited for me. It's perfect. I don't really like the cushion sole. I prefer to put the time in and have that sole kind of mold to my foot over time. You've got some details. It's very hard, a little bit hard to see, but it's got the number of the boot or the number of the boot in terms of the run that they had. So this looks like it was the 14th boot out of the run. May even be 14th boot total, because I asked Chris when I was in the store about the other boots that I purchased what the significance of the number was on the boot, and I thought it was because of, it was the run, but it was actually the boot total. So they are very much a boutique business, a boutique company making really good quality handmade products. They do bags, they do small leather goods, belts, all that type of thing. The quality is just incredible, actually, very, very nice. The leather on this one, you can see that there's a little bit of, I don't know, call it scarring, I suppose. Well, not scarring, but just creasing in the leather, as opposed to this one. Hasn't creased up as much. I kind of knew that would happen when I got them, because there was a little bit of this in the leather when I first picked them up. But honestly, it doesn't really bother me. I'm quite like the characteristics of the leather, and it's probably to be expected, to be honest. So and the fit and the feel and the quality of this was enough to just sort of didn't really bother me whatsoever. They're really, really nice, really, really supple. They're very, very sturdy. The thickness of the leather is perfect. These are probably more of a dress boot than a work boot. However, if you were to wear these for work, I would encourage that you actually did this, that you could do this, for these. This is the Jack. They do offer a Smith, which is probably more in line with the work per se. The sole's a little bit different. This is a rubber sole that they use on the bottom of these, which is also locally acquired, I think, from somewhere in South Australia. The Jack, the Smith boot that they offer as well is probably a little bit more of a rugged sole. However, going back to what I was saying, these are very, very capable of being able to do work in. I kind of find that these, if I was to put these in a category of boot, these remind me of what an old school RM William boot used to be. Just that exceptional quality, exceptional build quality, that exceptional attention to detail, and using really good quality materials and locally sourced materials. So yeah, look, I'll quickly show you what I got in the box. So the box is really nicely presented. They did give me some wax to use sparingly when I need to. Which side? This side maybe. Yeah. Apologies, just doing this with one hand. So inside the box, I didn't even see this. It's a little bit of a process on how they go about their business. I got a leather coaster, which I thought was pretty cool. Business card. Some information on the leather care, which makes sense, as they gave me that jar of wax and then just some tissue paper. I was going to do an unboxing of these when I first got them, but I don't know, kind of felt the need to wear them for a week or two before I did that. So yeah, look, I think these guys deserve a lot of credit in terms of me even just doing this and my small group of followers. Hopefully this spikes your interest. They're a husband and wife team supported by small group of employees, so they need they need all the credit that they can get, and I thought I'd just do this review and just show the craftsmanship and the quality of this product and just give you my opinion for what it's worth, and I think they're absolutely fantastic. The other thing that I really like is the fact that they are done locally, so when I need to get my sole redone, which this is obviously rebuildable, resolable and everything, I can do that locally rather than having to send them overseas, or the art of cobblers and that type of thing is starting to become a bit of a dying art. So the fact that these guys are local to me was definitely a big selling point. But if you were looking at something like this from interstate or in fact overseas, I highly recommend it. That's about all I've got, I think. Just trying to think if I need to cover anything else off. I will try and do this after a month's worth of wear, and then maybe 6 months worth of wear, and then maybe 12 months worth of wear, and just give you a bit of an idea. But look, if you're thinking of a Chelsea boot, you're on the fence, you're looking at R.M. Williams, you're looking at a few other brands that you typically know for producing quality made Chelsea boots, I would definitely consider these guys. They probably come at a slightly higher price point, but the rationale behind the price point is the fact that they are 100%, genuinely 100% handmade, hand-lasted, local products, local materials. They're a really great small business that needs a bit of support, and you can kind of see where all the attention to detail goes, and I can see the justification in terms of justifying the spend on these boots. But they're just exquisite. The attention to detail on them is fantastic. And going into the store and meeting with the owners was something that was very, very cool, and it was a really nice experience for me. All right, look, if you've got any questions or comments or anything that you wanted to ask me, feel free. I'm going to do another quick review on another pair of boots, well, not a review, sorry, an unboxing, and I'll probably be going on a similar sort of journey with those as well, and giving you a look over time. All right, thank you.